I'm Andy Looney of Looney Labs, and I'm here to tell you about the new edition of Fluxx the board game. It's the same game as the one we published 10 years ago, but we made the box 82% smaller. We also solved the pegboard problem, if you know what that was about. But what is Fluxx the board game? It's the board game version of the card game of ever-changing rules. We started with a deck of cards, then we expanded it to include a dynamic game board made up of tiles that could be moved around during the course of the game.
You're probably familiar with the original Fluxx. Collect the right keepers, match them to the goal card, and win, right? In Fluxx the board game, we've replaced the keepers with spaces on the board. If you occupy the right spaces, you can claim a goal card. Once you claim enough goals, you win. Of course, it's never that simple. Like the card game, you start with a hand of 3 cards. You draw one and play one each turn. You also have 3 pieces in the color of your choice, and you make 2 moves each turn. You can move and play in any order. Got that? Excellent. Now forget it. In Fluxx, you can play new rule cards to change the core rules of the game. How many cards you draw and play, how many moves you make, how many goals you need to win, and even a few special rules.
So in the card game, when you play a new rule, it changes the rules and the cards just pile up in the center of the table for all to see. But in the board game, we've come up with a pegboard that tracks all of the possible rule changes. So now when you play a new rule, so new play number, I simply discard that and change the peg on the pegboard to reflect the new rules, as if those had been the rules all along.
You can also change the current goal by playing a goal card from your hand. The new goal goes on top of the stack. Now everyone wants milk and cookies. Once you claim the goal card, you reveal the one underneath, and it becomes the new goal. Now let's look at the new board. The board starts out with a random 3x3 square with the start tile in the middle. On your turn, you'll get some number of moves, 2 to start, which you can split up however you like among your colored pieces. All of your pieces start out on the start tile and must exit through one of the arrows. After that, though, you can move your piece to any orthogonal space, no diagonal moves.
So I'm going to start by moving one of my red pieces 1, 2, ending up on time. Puts me halfway to meeting the current goal. Time is money. All I got to do is get my other red piece onto the money, and I would win that goal.
Each of the picture spaces can only hold one piece at a time. So if someone's in a space and I want to move into it, I have to bump him out into an adjacent space. However, you can only bump a piece onto a free space. No double bumping allowed. On the other hand, the octagon spaces can hold any number of pieces. Likewise, you can always bump a piece onto an octagon space. There are also 2 other unique spaces on the board called portals. If you move a piece onto one of the portals, or if someone bumps you into it, you immediately teleport to the other portal. And if you can start on a portal, you can spend a move to jump back through. Like the octagon spaces, the portals can hold any number of pieces. Of course, there are faster ways around the board. In Fluxx the board game, we've replaced keeper cards with leaper cards. Leapers let you leap one of your pieces directly onto the space shown. Now, if the space you're leaping into is already full, you knock the current occupant all the way back to the start tile. There are also 3 special movements you can make if the right rules are turned on. If you toggle rotated tile on, you can use one of your moves to rotate one of the board tiles instead of moving a piece. If uproot a tile is on, you can use a move to pick up a tile and move it to another location on the board, so long as the board stays connected. And if wraparound is on, you can move a piece off one edge of the board and have it reappear on the other side. You can also jump over gaps left by uprooted tiles.
So, in Fluxx the board game, just about everything is subject to change. The rules can change, how you win can change, the board itself can change, and even the color of your pieces can be changed. Because in Fluxx the board game, the only constant is change. Fluxx the board game is available at a game store near you. I'm Andy Looney, and thanks for playing my games.
Bye.